Changing your mindset, rethinking school curriculum. If mindsets were truly fixed, then how do people break through limitations, develop new skills, and transform their lives? If the way we think about intelligence, failure, and success is unchangeable, then why do so many individuals, teachers, students, and leaders alike, experience personal and professional growth simply by shifting their perspectives? Could it be that what we believe about ourselves shapes not just our abilities, but our entire potential? And if that's true, then shouldn't we prioritize teaching educators to adopt a growth mindset just as much as we teach students to? What happens when teachers begin to reframe failure as learning rather than defeat? A teacher with a fixed mindset might see a struggling student and think, "This child is just not good at this subject." But a teacher with a growth mindset will instead ask, "What strategies haven't we tried yet? How can I support this student differently?" The difference is not in the student's ability, but in the teacher's belief in that ability. If we expect students to persist through challenges, then shouldn't we ensure that educators themselves are taught to embrace mistakes, adapt their approaches, and continually evolve their teaching practices? Emotional intelligence, EQ, shows us that the ability to recognize and regulate emotions directly impacts resilience and learning. A teacher who sees challenges as opportunities for self-improvement will be more likely to stay motivated, try new strategies, and foster resilience in their students. But how many teachers are trained to manage their own emotional responses to setbacks, to recognize frustration not as a sign of failure, but as a signal for growth? If educators are never taught how to reframe their struggles into learning experiences, how can they possibly pass that lesson on to their students? And what about mentorship and learning environments? If we know that surrounding students with role models who encourage resilience reinforces a growth mindset, then why do we not apply this same logic to teachers? What happens when teachers work in rigid, high-pressure school systems that prioritize performance over progress? What happens when educators are not given the freedom to experiment, to collaborate, to learn from each other? Shouldn't teachers, just like students, be immersed in environments that encourage adaptability, resilience, and continuous learning? After all, how can we expect students to embrace growth if their teachers are not given the space to do the same? If mindsets are not fixed, then neither are schools, classrooms, or educational systems. What if we redesign teacher training and professional development to focus not just on instructional techniques, but on cultivating resilience, adaptability, and a growth-oriented perspective? What if failure was no longer something to fear, but a step toward mastery? What if educators were given the tools to see challenges as learning opportunities, to persist through difficulties, and to model that mindset for their students? If we want to build schools that foster growth, resilience, and adaptability, then we must ask ourselves, are we giving teachers the freedom, support, and mindset training necessary to create the environments that students need? Because if we expect students to develop a growth mindset, but we do not first cultivate it in the educators who guide them, then we are setting an expectation without providing the foundation to achieve it. And isn't that the very definition of a fixed mindset?